So if you're anything like me, you probably woke up in the wee hours of the morning and the just slightest hope that you might score an RTX 5090 on release, or maybe a 5080, but it didn't happen. And why is that? Let's talk about it. Before that, this video is brought to you by VIPCDKdeals.com. CDK Deals is a website dedicated to getting you the best prices on games and software, and right now you can get a Windows 10 Pro OEM key for an insanely low price. Just find the best price and apply my special discount code GPC20 for an additional 30% off. You can also check out securely with PayPal, and once the payment is cleared, you should get access to the code both in your account as well as in your email. In order to activate the new copy of Windows 10, just search Activate under Windows and type in your key. So if you want to learn more, be sure to click the link in the description below. Okay, so I have a huge update when it comes to the RTX 50 series stock in general. I've been reaching out to a lot of my contacts inside the industry who I will not be disclosing in this video, but I have a lot of information to share on the stock situation, why things are the way they are, and when you can actually expect to get your hands on an RTX 50 series card. Well, let's start off with what happened. So with the RTX 5090 and 5080, it seems like truckloads were sent to reviewers, yet the actual customers couldn't get their hands on them. And to be honest with you, that assessment isn't that far off. It sounds like the actual reviewers of the RTX 50 series did get potentially a substantial amount of at least the Founders Edition models on release, which just goes to show you there was a very, very small amount of RTX 5090 and 5080 Founders Edition cards available at launch. In fact, the actual availability of the RTX 50 series as a whole is so bad that, yes, while reviewers were able to get Founders Edition models, if you take a look at AIBs, that was not the case. Even larger creators have been complaining about not being able to even get loaner samples of an RTX 50 series card, which just goes to show if they can't even send out a single AIB model, that means the supply is very, very low. And of course, okay, yeah, boohoo, YouTubers and creators can't get their hands on 5090s and 5080s. You might not care. I think it is important because you might want to see reviews, but definitely the real problem is customers can't buy them. That's a far more important part of the situation. So I reached out to some of my contacts and asked, what's going on here, and when can actual customers try and get their hands on the RTX 5090 and the RTX 5080? And in fact, I even asked about the RTX 5070 Ti and 5070, and what I heard was really bad. So apparently with the RTX 5090, supply is incredibly low. I mean, we're talking, you've probably seen some of the stuff going around the internet. We're talking literally like handfuls. There's actual dozens of people going out and buying them. Okay, maybe a little bit more than that, but you get the idea. The amount of 5090s out there is just awful right now, and that's not going to be changing for at least a little bit. Now, the 5080 situation is definitely better. There's far, far more 5080s in circulation. I'd say probably at least a 5-to-1 ratio versus 5090, if not 10-to-1 ratio. So you may have a 5 or 10 times greater chance of buying an RTX 5080 than 5090, especially if you're looking for a specific 5090 model. However, even the 5080 supply is not good, and that's also not going to be changing for a little while here. I mean, not only was NVIDIA manufacturing these cards, it seems like up to the very last second, so this could be a very rushed launch, but to make matters worse, well, we just went into the Lunar New Year, so there's actually going to be basically nothing happening for potentially a couple of weeks as well. So get ready for supply to be very, very bad for at least a month. But what I was told specifically is that the RTX 5090 and 5080 and even the 5070 cards, including the 5070 Ti and 5070, will probably not be able to actually be purchased, at least not easily, for the entirety of Q1 2025. Now, yes, you can potentially purchase them, and as the months go by, it will get easier and easier. However, it's not going to be easy, it sounds like, probably for any of these cards through February as well as March. And availability will probably only start to get better on certain cards, potentially in March, but possibly even 1 to 3 months after that. That's right, the RTX 5090 specifically, I was told not only are you probably not gonna be able to buy it in Q1 of 2025, but you might even not be able to buy it in Q2 of 2025. So it might be kind of getting to the end of Q2 before you can pretty easily go on the internet or go into a shop and just pick one up. Now, this information that I was told could end up not being true, but I do trust them, and I think that probably is going to be the case. We've seen similar things in previous generations where there was a lot of hype, and there is a lot of hype around the 50 series, despite the fact that they're not quite bringing the performance that a lot of people were hoping for. And yes, the RTX 5080 is also going to be difficult to get. Now, I think actually by the end of Q1, the RTX 5080 and maybe 5070 cards will actually start to become viable to purchase, but we just don't know for sure. And I would say, erring on the side of caution, don't expect to easily be able to purchase any 50 series cards for the entirety of Q1, and the most sought after ones, possibly the entirety of Q2 2025 as well. So the stock situation is absolutely horrendous. Customers can't get them, reviewers can't even review them. They basically hardly exist at this point in time, and it's not going to be improving for at least a month, I would say, based on the Lunar New Year and all that stuff going on. So if you want to buy an RTX 50 series card, I'll try and make a guide on the best way to do that. Subscribe if you're not already, if you want to be updated on some, stock situations, that sort of stuff, performance. Got a lot of really cool videos coming up, which I may hold off on some of them until you can actually purchase some of the RTX 50 series cards and maybe focus on AMD, assuming they actually have availability as well, until the stock situation improves, because I don't want to release a ton of videos on the 50 series when you can't even buy them. I'm trying. I can't buy AIB cards either, and I was really hoping to review one, but it looks like that's going to be put on hold. So yeah, it's unfortunate that this is the case, but I do want to leave you with one thing. Please, please, please do not buy scalped cards on eBay. It is not worth it. Yes, the 50 series, it's very exciting. It's a great generation in terms of software. The hardware, not quite as exciting for gaming, definitely excellent for AI, but it's not exciting enough that you need to be rushing out and buying them at double the MSRP. Trust me, they're great cards, but they're not that good. So just wait. They're excellent, but if you just wait, you will eventually be able to buy them at MSRP, hopefully assuming the tariffs don't screw things up. And you may want to consider looking at, if you're looking at a 70 class, if AMD has better supply, hey, that might be a good option as well, but we'll see. I am really looking forward to the 5070 Ti because I think that one's going to be good, and I think supply will be better as well. That's probably going to be the banger of the generation. But we'll see how supply looks when it launches, hopefully soon, but I don't even know when the heck that's happening. But hey, that's just what I think. Do you think that the RTX 50 series was basically a paper launch, or do you think that gamers are just so foaming at the mouth for new cards that they bought them up by the thousands? Probably not. But in any case, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below, and of course, I'll see you in the next video.
If you made it to the end of the video, be sure to drop a like. Every time you do so, AMD and NVIDIA release new GPUs. Also, if you want to see more, check out one of these related videos. You won't be disappointed.